Good morning. Good morning. It is so good to see all of you here. I invite you to join us with our call to worship song, Surely the Presence.
In the midst of the children, the Lord said they would be. It doesn't take very many. It could be just two or three. And I feel that same sweet spirit that I felt oft times before. Surely I can say I've been with the Lord. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Feel His mighty power in God's rays. I can feel the rush of angel wings. I see glory on His face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Service today, we do so in prayer, that foundation of unity. Feeling the energy, hearing the words that surely the presence of the Lord is in this place, not only in this place, but in and moving as and through each and every one of us, which just brings a smile to my face, a feeling of joy to my heart. So as we move into this sacred time together today, I invite you to open your heart space. Now open your mind, knowing that you are being divinely guided through each step of this journey that we call life. And for this, we are eternally grateful. Thank you. Thank you to all that is. Amen and amen.
And our thought for today is faith. Just like we all have faith, that we shall continue on. Faith heals, prospers, blesses, and sustains me. So let us kind of think about that a little bit, that faith heals, prospers, blesses, and sustains me. And from 2 Corinthians 5:7, for we walk by faith, not by sight. Sometimes I wish I had a way of looking into the future and knowing what to expect. But even though I cannot know how the future might unfold, I can still be prepared for it through my power of faith. Having faith means I have unwavering fidelity to spiritual truth. My faith is my anchor, keeping me steady during shifting worldly circumstances and focused not on the things of the world, but on the power of spirit. My faith keeps me steadfast in the midst of uncertainty, inventive when met with stagnation, and adaptable when faced with challenging and changing circumstances. I turn my attention to God and feel my soul eliminated by my belief that everything is working out for good. I align with this truth and go forth blessed by my faith. So shall we join together in that affirmation for today, that faith heals, prospers, blesses, and sustains me. I'll go a little slower so we can all join in. Faith heals, prospers, blesses, and sustains me. And let's do it quietly, that faith heals, prospers, blesses, and sustains me.
Love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. It's just like a magic penny, hold it tight and you won't have any. They'll roll all over the floor. Love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away, you end up having more.
the blue, love steps in and sees you through. When you wish upon a star, your dream comes true. Love is kind, it brings to those who love the sweet fulfillment of their secret longing. Like a bolt out of the blue, love steps in and sees your through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true.
I just invite everyone to stay in that space of receiving. And if you feel comfortable, close your outer eyes and find that comfortable space in the seat you've chosen today. As we begin, we focus on our breath, breathing in and breathing out. And we check in with ourselves today. Starting at the top of our head. Are we holding on to thoughts that we can now say, you're free to go? I invite you to raise your shoulders up high and breathe into that and lower them down. Placing our hands over our heart space. That pulse of life. We breathe into our heart space. And as we do this, we envision it opening wider and wider in anticipation of receiving and giving that love. And we move down into our tummies. Take a nice deep breath in and feel your stomach expand. Release. And if we're holding tension in this space, we bring our attention to it and we breathe life into that tension. Knowing that this life and this love and this wisdom that is God energy releases all that we may be holding in this very morning. We move down to our hips, and I invite you to squeeze your hips. Breathing into it and relax. That feeling of sinking deeper. Deeper into the presence that God is. We move down our legs. If we feel that need, we breathe in as we tighten and we release. Knowing that in this space, in this time, we give these legs of ours a break. As we fall into that natural breathing pattern, unique to our own incredible bodies, we remember the words from our daily inspiration as well as our music. So today, in this sacred space, I invite you now to use that incredible power of imagination and ask yourself, if I was to wish upon a star, what would I wish for? This can be a wish for ourselves, for our friends and family. This can be a wish for the world. There is no wish too great or too small when we back it with faith. So we bring that wish into our imagination and we see it. We have feelings of what it would be like if this was to come to fruition. We allow those details to become more and more clear in our mind. And we breathe in that faith. So just as our physical bodies are supported by the seats we've chosen, these wishes are supported by our faith, by the strength of our faith. As we hold on to that vision, I invite you to allow that to be what you bring into the silence. Seeing it, knowing it, blessing it into existence with our faith. And as we shift our awareness, moving out of the silence, floating out of the silence, we know this wish to be true, to be fulfilled, and to appear in our life in God's perfect and divine timing, knowing that all unfolds in divine order. So as we close this sacred time of meditation, just invite you one last time to feel from the tips of your toes to the top of your head what it feels like as this wish comes true. Breathe into it and give it life. For we are co-creating a world that works for all. And so it is. Amen and amen. Good morning. So good to be here today. We are continuing, and this is our second week in our 8-week series of studying the eye of the storm. Now I know that we have a book study that happens from 12:30 until 2 after the service, and then we also have an online book study. Now last week's time had to be a little bit different, but the time posted online is the current time for our Monday night book studies, and that is from 6:30 until 8, I do believe. If you'd like to join us on the Facebook page, we do have a Zoom link, so feel free to just go to our Zoom link and join us there. The eye of the storm. Now, many people who have been in my position and going through ministerial school, as I am doing, have a lot come up. What could seem like a storm come up as we take these classes that touch on spots within us that are calling out for healing. So as we keep this in mind, and I remember all of my childhood just listening to these students, and I thought, well, man, they're complaining a lot. It's life. We're all doing life together. And that is why I love this book, The Eye of the Storm, because each and every one of us is doing life, therefore may have a storm or two within your realm. Now, I want to share a quote, and the book is written by Dr. Reverend Gary Simmons. In chapter 2, which we're going to be looking more at chapter 3 and 4 this week within both our message and our book study, but this one really stuck out to me and I wanted to share it. He says, what keeps you from being fully present to life and therefore fully alive is what's hidden in you, not in life. Life is abundant. It is only in your sense of separation that you feel threatened, limited, or fragmented. So when we realize this, it's crucial to observe the dualistic thoughts and beliefs in good and evil, or good and bad, or positive and negative, forward-moving progress, or we're in reverse, going way too fast here. Life is abundant. I'll say it again. Life is abundant. So when we do realize this, we realize that it's moving through each and every one of us. Now, before I get into some of his tips and tricks from chapter 3, I wanted to also share that he says, whatever supports your ability to be present in life, to embrace, that's what serves all of humanity. And is it not our mission here as Unity of Joplin, and it's our vision to co-create a world that works for all? Or are we just making a world that works for us? No. A world that works for all. I get so excited when we say that part of our statement. This is no small endeavor, Gary says, and it is for this reason that we must ask ourselves, are we having difficulty showing up to life? We ask ourselves these questions. He goes on to say, your soul moves you toward challenges. And this one really stuck out, because I thought, well, I don't want challenges. Moves you toward challenges because they stretch you in ways that separate you from your falsehoods and your dependencies. Did we not see a beautiful example of that this morning already? Yes, we did. Amen to that. Yes, we did. And for some of us, it may have felt uncomfortable. Oh my gosh, there's a sudden change. Oh no, right? We can be in that space. That's that storm. Or we let go of the dependency of structure and we stay centered, knowing with that faith that our world is unaffected by that which is happening around us. And what you discover is that you are not your experiences. I'm not going to ask y'all numbers, but for me, I'm still learning this. I almost said about 37 years is about how long I've been doing this. To remember that you are not your experiences. You are not your story that you tell everyone. You are greater. And this distinction of I am not my experience is the key principle in discovering our wholeness. That's our goal through this study of this book, is discovering, remembering, and affirming our wholeness. He says experiences are metaphors. They're mirrors of our belief system. And they serve as feedback to what we are making our lives mean. They are portals breaking through the points intended to awaken us to our own magnificence. Our own magnificence. They are not solid, these experiences. They appear to be so when we resist them, right? I have felt that before, that illusion that it's solid and unchanging. But what is the one constant in our experience? Anybody? Change, right? Right? I recently heard someone say, we shouldn't have named it God, we should have named it change. Right? So we'll take that one home and think about that one later. But These experiences, they have absolutely no power in and of themselves. It's just like how we've talked about fear has to have a willing host in order to survive. Fear is not of God energy, and it will dissipate the moment that it does not have a host that's willing to carry it on its back, right? That gets heavy. And that's why I like to start our meditations by raising our shoulders and letting them down, because we're telling our bodies we're ready to release this. So today we're talking about enemies. Who's ever had an enemy in your life? Closing my eyes, but I'll raise my hand. Okay, am I speaking? Okay, we got some honest people up in here. I have sure felt as if I've had enemies in my life before, and it's not an easy feeling. It's a space in which we feel a threat, a need to put up a wall, a defensiveness. But whatever it is in life that seems to be against us. So for just a moment, I want you to close your eyes, and the first thing that pops into your head, I want you to just have that picture of what is coming up in your individual experiences that feels like it is blocking you, it's stopping you, it's pushing you back, it's knocking you down. Whatever it is in our life, whether it's a person, an interaction, an environment, a situation. So we have that enemy. It could be our body, an illness, a dreaded eventuality, or the end of a relationship. But we must remember that the enemy is a reflection of our belief that something or someone is against us. And as we move through this process, we'll begin to understand the deeper meaning of no one and nothing is against us. Because that belief may be a belief, but it isn't true. It is not true. This belief of something being against us, of there being an enemy that could be against us. Well, this belief in it is fuel to the idea of separation. And here in Unity, we strive and strive and strive to remember that separation is an illusion, that we are all connected. There is no way to be separated. So how do we shift out of the belief slowly and surely? Well, relating differently to other people, to the experience, in order to dismantle this belief of separation. It supports the experience, and it dictates how we treat those that we may currently feel is an enemy. So how do we deal with those enemies? I don't like saying the word anymore, enemy. We build a bridge. We build a bridge. And it's a bridge to a consciousness of wholeness and transformation, because we are transforming the energy of enemy into the energy of friend. We do this when we become aware of the eye of the storm. So first we look in the mirror. We look in the mirror. We have that love. And in the presence of the enemy, we think of this person or the situation as a blessed mirror of that place in us that is calling forth for remembrance of who we are, the truth of who we are, and who we came here to be. So the goal is to work our way into embracing this person, this situation, this complication or challenge. Moving in with compassion, we put that compassionate energy forward first in order to embrace this experience. When we do this, something magical happens. We don't need anybody to change. We don't need the situation to change or to go away because the inside job is working. It's working overtime, but it's getting paid time and a half because the reward is always going to be more than what we could ever possibly put into it. And as a dear friend has said time and time and time again, we cannot and will not ever have the capacity to outgive God. Ever. Because whatever we put out, it is being brought back to us. The step that we move into next is to make it mean that it is for good, to bless it. Guys, this is about us. We're going to be doing a lot of personal work here, letting go of needing to be right. Does anybody out there ever just like feel super joyful when you're like, I knew it, I was right? Right? Okay, so it's a human tendency. But unfortunately, within the human psyche, if we have right, then we have a wrong. Correct? Yeah. So we would like to do the right thing in the situation. One of those things is to take authentic action in regards of what we've forgotten. The truth, the connection, the oneness, the love. And to take ownership in our part of the experience. Now, the burden or space of growth, which I like to be in that place of seeing what could be a burden as a space of growth. It's upon us to determine what actions that we're going to take that are in alignment with our journey towards wholeness. What will allow us to be in the situation, find ourselves centered without the need to be right? Just breathe into that for a second and release the need to be right. I do it with a sigh because I let that go. We have that pure potential. Just let it go. And one of the most powerful ways that we transform what could show up as an enemy into a friend is to pray. Be in that prayerful consciousness, right? Now, we had our first online book study this last week, and I just wanted to share one of the things that came up. And they said, how could you ever find joy in a space of chaos and conflict? Well, I had a really big smile on my face. Psycho. But not really. Straight up God-guided is what I am. Because I have learned through some easy experiences and through some really, 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 really stretching me experiences that even if someone is coming up to me and I'm standing there and I'm the spiritual leader and they have something to say and I may have looked at them and given them a look that struck something within them, and they have things to say to me. And they are looking me dead in the eyes, and they are saying, you know, Rachel, when XYZ happened, I felt like this. Okay? And then whenever you wore those shoes, was that appropriate for a spiritual leader? Rachel. Right? So we can be in these spaces where you have someone directly coming at you, saying your name and listing their complaints. But when we're the eye of the storm, we breathe into the center. We open that heart space. And we remember that no one and nothing is against us. And as we do this, we don't find our space limited. The smile I had on my face was because when we are in conflict or in a chaotic space, that is the space of pure potentiality. That is the space where you have more possibilities, and more possible outcomes than one would typically imagine, just sitting here having it go nice and smoothly, right? Right? I know that in my life experience, when I've been in that space and I'm seeing the storm, I also see the magic in it, the blessings that can come out of it. And I can say, I honor you. I hear you. But I also know that this has nothing to do with me. They may have received that same look from a kindergarten teacher who may have said, "Look now, Johnny, you gotta be quiet." And it was actually Katie beside him that was making the noise. And that really hurt. That hurt that little 5-year-old. And there are spaces within each and every one of us that people are here to help us heal. They are going to, from time to time, appear to be the enemy. But I'm here to say that they are here to help you heal. Heal on a deeper level than you could have ever imagined. So as we take the opportunity to listen, to tune in, just like we do during our meditations, we see those spaces in which we need healing. And as we stay the eye of the storm, the centered space, it allows that energy around us to dissipate. It allows each of us to remember that we're a mirror for each other. And what an incredible blessing that is for humanity, to have the awareness that we mirror to each other the spaces where we've forgotten our wholeness, our divinity, our radiance, our purpose, our true I am, and who we have come here to be. So this week, as we do life, as we encounter and experience, when it feels uncomfortable, and stay with me here, and if you need to email me, text me for extra support, please do so. Lean into it. Lean in to the discomfort, knowing that the divine support of Spirit is at work. That this calling forth of a space that is saying, I am ready. I am now ready to be seen and heard and healed on a deeper level. We say thank you to these mirrors. We bless these mirrors, and we can walk away from the mirror to do our work, right? Because storms are going to be happening all around us, all the time. But when we're centered, when we have that faith that we heard about today, nothing can break that spiritual boundary. And I'm so excited for this deeper healing. So please do just lean into that. No, we don't have to allow it to drag us to the bottom of the ocean or anything like that, but just be aware of it. Be aware of what we're feeling and what may have come to our ears that felt like an enemy that we can shift into a blessing, a friend, right? Lastly, I want to encourage each of us right now to just give an amazing thanks for our bodies, because our bodies shift and change, and they do these very, very interesting things. They can feel like the enemy, this incredible vessel from time to time can feel like the enemy. So please, with me, let's take a nice deep breath in of love and appreciation for this body. Let that oxygen just seep into every cell, knowing that this is the vessel of remembrance. And we are so thankful for when our bodies are speaking up and saying, I need to be heard. We can listen. So I'm excited to see and hear about the results of leaning into these spaces of discomfort and also blessing our bodies. No matter what is going on with our bodies, blessing those beautiful bodies. And I am so thankful, so incredibly thankful for all of the experiences that we have, the interpersonal experiences that we have, because what's in everything? Change is in everything, right? It's a good word for God. God is in everything. God is filling the Spirit and the expression of what was once an enemy that has now become a friend. So as we open our eyes, we see the Christ moving through all situations, unfolding before us. And we give great appreciation for these reminders, for these mirrors, as we take our time to tune in. So take the time this week, even if it's just 5 minutes. Tune in and remember, you are a radiant expression of God no matter what is happening around you. You have the power to center yourself. And for this powerful gift, we are so thankful. I bless each and every one of you. I love you, and I'm here to support you along your journeys. We're a team in this. So feel free to join us for our book study today after the service, and also online, where we will dive deeper into what we're reading. We'll ask questions. We'll ask each other questions and gain a broader perspective. Because that's what we're here for, right? To co-create a world that works for all of us. Namaste.